On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. Looks like we're finally going to actually look at real science rather than listening to the people that make the poison tell us that the poison's not poison. We're doing some things different, it sounds like. Things are changing. This has definitely got to freak out the deep state in a huge way. So how this plays out, I don't know. I'm still, like I've said, man, my radar's on strong right now. Like I am not sitting back idly. We are in crazy times, and we'll see what all happens. I think we are making it difficult for the deep state to try to ramp up stories, but yet there still are some very strange stories happening right now, and the way they're being spun by the media is particularly interesting to me anyways. We've got a lot to talk about. Here's Donald Trump. This is just, I don't want to say cute. It kind of is, though. Kind of is. I don't know. There's something about this dude's adorable, this Asian fella. But Trump, the art of the deal, right? Live TV. This dude's going to donate a lot, and Trump's like, how about you do more? And I just think this is precious. Watch.
But I'm going to ask him right now, would you make it $200 billion instead of $100? He can actually, believe it or not, he can actually afford to do that if he wants to. Would you do that?
Well, my promise is 100, but, he's now asking to do more. I think, with your leadership, my partnership with you, with your support, I will try to make it happen.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
200. He'll make it happen. 200 billion investment.
He is a great negotiator.
He's a good man. He's a brilliant guy.
I love how he just gives him a hug, too. I mean, it's just, and Trump just towers over this guy, right? Like, it's so funny. That's a beautiful thing. It's cute. Multiple people injured in a shooting at a private Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. We don't have a lot of information on it. What we do have, we're going to play here in a second. I haven't actually listened to this yet. Now, there was some controversy, I guess, during or after this little piece here. Someone came up and told them, I guess on the air, there's an additional person killed. So they were saying that there was 5 people counting the shooter. As it's turned out, it's not actually 5. I believe it's, I think they're saying it's 4 total. Nonetheless, we'll find out here in a second. There was some confusion about it. And the shooter was, I guess, underage, and also the name hasn't been released. We don't know a whole lot about him. But I haven't listened to this yet, so let's find out I'm going to find out with you. How about that?
On this school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. As he gets briefed by his staff and approaches the cameras, we will take this live now.
This is where I start, and I say thank you for coming and talk about how important the media is to our community. But the truth is, today is a sad, sad day, not only for Madison, but for our entire country, where yet another police chief is doing a press conference to speak about violence in our community, specifically in one of the places that's most sacred to me as someone who loves education and to someone that are in schools. So I'm gonna tell you what I know. I'll answer any questions that I can. There'll be a secondary briefing that our PIO will let you know about, okay? Around 10:57 a.m., our officers were responding to a call of an active shooter at the Abundant Life Christian School here in Madison. When officers arrived, they found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds. We train on this almost quarterly. The last time we trained on this as commanders was approximately 2 weeks ago. The protocols are simple. Stop the killing, stop the dying, find out who's doing this. And the officers did that, and they did that adamantly. We had officers from around the county and around the state that came in support of this particular incident. Officers located a juvenile who they believe was responsible for this deceased in the building. Additionally, the officers began administering life-saving efforts to anyone who was wounded and making sure that those persons were transported. What we know is that a total of about 7 persons were transported from the scene to area hospitals for treatment. We know that at least 3 people have lost their lives, including a juvenile person. I don't have any other information about those persons who have lost their lives, and I'm not going to release that until we have, of course, spoken with family members and ensuring that they are fully aware of this tragic scene that occurred today. I want to thank all of the law enforcement partners and community members that came out to help.
So it's 3 people passed away, and again, not cool. Oh, cool, here it is. So at the time, it's 3 deceased. The way they're doing the information's so confusing too, which is also, I think, meant to be. I mean, we've already got people that are coming out and saying it's the guns that need to leave, obviously. But that, I mean, immediately they started saying that. But it's funny as they keep saying that it's 3 people deceased, and I think they keep saying that there's 9 that are injured, 3 of which of those are deceased. So there's 6 injured and 3 deceased. But they're trying to say it's 9 injured and 3 of which are deceased. It's like, well, you're deceased. You're well past injured at that point. And I'm not trying to make light. It's just they're trying to make the numbers sound weird. I don't know. Maybe it's not on purpose, but this is tragic, obviously. We'll, I don't know, find out more as it comes. Feds are now going to deploy state-of-the-art detection systems in New York as drone swarms have experts baffled. Some sort of new radar technology. Chuck Schumer's even been pushing for it. You know, when Hochul and Chuck Schumer are pushing for more funds, and that's what they want. They want funds. They want not just state-of-the-art drone detection systems, but they're trying to get money to what? Because there's drones flying over you? The government, I, as a taxpayer in this horrible state of California right now, I need to give you guys money too? Not that it's that way, but my federal money would go to them, right? So it's kind of the same thing. No. You don't need extra funding because there's drones flying over you that the military obviously knows about. We're going to talk about that in a second. I mean, they have to. And at least who I trust probably to tell us closest to the truth is telling us this. We'll get there. Feds are going to deploy this state-of-the-art technology that I duplicated stories here. Yeah, such a good story. You should read it twice. Mm-hmm. Mayorkas says we're limited in our authorities to incapacitate drones. I don't know if I want to listen to this. How long is it? We'll see.
This morning, can you clear up the confusion here?
Absolutely, George, and thank you very much for having me. There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings. Some of those drone sightings are, in fact, drones. Some are manned aircraft that are commonly mistaken for drones, and we do see duplicative reporting. But there's no question that drones are being sighted. Let me set the record straight here, George. There are thousands of drones flown every day in the United States. Recreational drones, commercial drones. That is the reality. And in September of 2023, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, changed the rules so that drones could fly at night. And that may be one of the reasons why now people are seeing more drones than they did before, especially from dawn to dusk. And so that is the reality. But I want to assure the American public that we are on it. We are working in close coordination with state and local authorities. And it is critical, as we all have said for a number of years, that we need from Congress additional authorities to address the drone situation. Our authorities currently are limited, and they are set to expire. We need them extended and expanded.
What exactly do you need?
We want state and local authorities to also have the ability to counter drone activity under federal supervision. That is one important element that we have requested, and we've heard it echoed by the state and local officials themselves.
You know,
So more money, more money, more money, more money, more money. So they're limited because there's not enough money. Again, they're trying to spin. It's weird. They're trying to spin it. They're not necessarily trying to run down the whole be scared, be scared, be scared. But yet we should have more money to be able to look into this. This is not something to look into. If it were, it wouldn't be happening at his level. It would be the military that would be like, yeah, totally. And again, has to be either military or testing that's sanctioned, because they're flying with frickin' lights on in most cases. Now, they are very evasive. They're very hard to catch. They're reasonably large. They're saying they're manned. I doubt it. I actually doubt very much that these are manned. At least these 8-foot wingspan. There'd be no need for a man in there. I mean, you just wouldn't. You wouldn't need it. And in fact, it would make far more sense not to be manned. It makes a lot of sense, too, that they're potentially looking for stuff. I still feel like those are two of the best theories that are out there right now. Unquestionably, our military knows exactly what the hell is up. But yet we've got the Biden administration trying to milk this for money. We got Kathy Hochul trying to milk this for money. We've got the news, ABC specifically, and Axios and those types of people trying to spin this into there's an invasion coming of UFOs, or, who knows what it could be, right? Like this whole weird genre of crazy. But it's like you got to see who and what's pointing it in these directions, right? It's like it can't be ABC that I listen to, right? So when they say something, I'm like, okay. That's what they're trying to get us to. It's like it's awesome because it's a roadmap. They tell us where they're trying to take us. And then it's like, all right, I know where we kind of need to go, sort of. I got that roadmap too. It's in my back pocket, right? You can't have it though. No, it's mine. Got my copy, right? But all said, Donald Trump comes out at least being, I think, the most responsible individual that we have in our government right now. And at least he's trying to, rest assured, America. I mean, where's Biden? Where's anybody else in the administration now that's like, other than we want more money, of course, Chrome Dome says, or Kirby that's like, we don't know, but like just stupid. Anyway, Donald Trump, rock star.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Want to know the
they're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been getting regular intelligence briefings?
I love his answers, by the way. He's been giving some of the best answers, and we're going to get a bunch from this particular press conference he did. He gave a guy a lot of great answers. Someone asked him a really stupid question. Unfortunately, the audio gets weird. There's this crackling that happens, but you can still make out the important parts. It's just going to be somewhat annoying, but it is what it is. We're also getting reports. I don't know if these are verified yet, so let's take them from that angle. But reports are emerging of drones spotted over Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. I wouldn't be surprised. Wright-Patterson's been involved in a lot of stuff, and if there were missing weapons, that's a very likely place where they could be. I know. I think stuff that used to be there way back in the day, going back to the Roswell days, if you will, I think those things got moved long ago, probably at one point Area 51, and I'm sure since then have been, shuttled down deeper into the bunker. Who knows? MyPillow. Love these guys. I'm truly just, I feel so good, one, that they're selling the original pillow. I will tell you guys, literally the hardest day in my life was when I started using the 2.0, and I'm not trying to be a dick to the 2.0. It's a great pillow. A lot of you guys love it. I did not have the same experience. And for me, sales is really about telling you guys what I believe. And I was like, talking about this pillow, it had the cooling technology. That was pretty cool. But it was not as good as my original MyPillow. I am stoked. I still have one of them because my girlfriend doesn't sleep. So I got one of the things just to show how freaking small these are. It's a trip how they ship these. This is a king size pillow. Needless to say, the other one, I got two of them. The other ones I've been using, so nice. So nice. I just love the pillow. It's freaking $19. Mine for the king size. $14.88 for a regular queen, which I had and I was using because I Got frustrated with the 2.0. Again, not trying to, like, some people aren't as anal when it comes to the pillow. The pillow for me has always been crazy. I still have my original pillow. It's like this thin. It's stupid, but I don't like a big pillow. Always have. I hate it. My neck hurts if I have a big pillow. I've just been a retard my whole life. Sometimes you just accept the fact of who you are, right? And you just deal with it. And for me, the pillow was a big deal. MyPillow is how I fell in love with this company, and I'm still in love with this company, by the way. They make the best towels. Anything they make with cloth, by the way, is amazing. Their sheets, their super deep pocket, just amazing products. I love the pillow. I freaking love it. And it's $15. Like I certainly, you're helping the channel when you buy stuff. I mean, you got to get over $75 to get the free shipping, so please do. But this pillows, they made too many of them. It's basically what happened. Take advantage. And the My Towel 6-piece sets, they're incredible towels. You got 2 of the regular bath towels, 2 like the hand towels, like right, and then 2 face towels. They are freaking awesome. You got all sorts of crazy, awesome colors. Again, clothing, they got toppers, they've got sheets, they've got flannel sheets especially. They've got bathrobes, which, by the way, a lot of people, I think the people that like them, these are the best bathrobes. Like, it's the My Towel just stitched to wear. I mean, like, it doesn't get any better than that. That's why they're $60. They're incredible. They will be so comfortable. You will love it. And then, of course, dog beds. If you want to make your dog even happier, get a dog bed. They like to be where you're at, and if you got a MyPillow dog bed, it's going to be incredible. Go to mypillow.com/OTF. That's mypillow.com/OTF. Get the best night of sleep you've ever had. It's waiting for you, literally. And you get free shipping if you get $75 worth of best night of sleep you've ever had. It's right there. Right there. All right, so doctors are warning now of and this is Daily Mail that's reporting this. So again, just I can't even tell you. There's like 4 stories I kicked to the curb today that were from the Daily Mail and the Wire, some Daily Wire or whatever. There's a couple of these stupid rags. Doctors warn of a quademic this winter as 4 viral infections soar and mask mandates creep back in. Dum dum dum. Yeah, they're gonna hit us now. Let's see. What are this? She got the 4 in here listed. They're warned Americans could face the quademic. Their combination of COVID, flu, the cold-like virus RSV, and the stomach bug. Right? The quadrifecta. And, of course, they're going to be like, yeah, and the stomach bug's going to keep you from being able to eat ivermectin. Whatever. These guys can't win. They can't, and they're not going to. But they are trying to do some really crazy stuff, and they've got that reverse virus thing that they're doing. So whatever the case is, there's some fear that they're trying to throw our way. I think a lot of it is that. So just please understand, there's ways to keep yourself as healthy as you possibly can, keep your immune system as strong as you possibly can. That's really all you can do. And then the rest of it's in God's hands for the most part, right? So again, these people do not have power over you. You are a sovereign being unless you give them power. This is the whole lesson in what's going on today is us evolving to that understanding that we actually are in charge of our lives. And all of this stuff is just the movie that's tried to make us realize, hey, I think I relate to that. Kennedy is going to meet with Republicans on key committees. I love this guy. He is trying to make a difference. He's trying to lead HHS, hopefully. And he is talking to a whole bunch of senators right now, which is great. Trump says he's skeptical of school vax mandates. He's open to autism links as HSS nominee RFK Jr. meets the senators. So even Trump's like, no, I'd like to get to the bottom of it. And that's the right way to go. And I think it's funny is I know a lot of people in the media and everyone else, because they're paid for by pharma, but they're all going to say, he's a vaccine denier. He just wants the information out there. Like, we listen to the sugar industry tell us that sugar's okay. We listen to the oil industry tell us that oil's okay. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying we always listen to the industry that's making quadrillions of dollars, and we listen to them when they tell us, oh, this is totally okay. For sure. Just stop asking questions. Go back to the movies. So, yeah, Trump is open to seeing where the science gets us. Yeah. I thought I had a Trump thing. Anyway. Yeah, no, something else. I'm thinking of something else. Also, I don't know who this gentleman is. He's not dead, thank God. He was speaking. His name's Alex Bresowitz. Yeah, he collapses on stage. Not that I'm trying to poke fun. It's sad. It's scary. I think he just fainted. I got up once. I'll tell you the weirdest. There's two. I've had a couple faint stories. One, I was standing up and just literally passed out, fell over and hit the ground. That was kind of funny. I used to play the game when I was younger where we breathe, hyperventilate, and then you'd push on your chest and you'd pass out. So, I'm probably prone to it. Maybe. All said, it's fun. It's not a bad thing. It's just you got to learn when it's going to happen, and you get down low. But another time, I actually hit my inner knee, the inner side of my knee, on a table. I was getting up to go outside. And I hit it, just bam, right, just good. I must have hit a pressure point or something, because literally it laid me out. Literally, I came to, I was draped over the table that I just hit my knee on. Oh, it was awesome. It was weird. One of the weirdest things. It hurt so bad or something that it caused me to pass out. I don't know. But whatever the case was. It's about him right now, not me. Come on, Dan.
Oh no, I'm forgetting my words. But shame impeachment.
Now, what's really good in this for everybody is that's a real solid telltale. If I would have been already rushing the stage at this point if I was one of his people, because it's obvious he was going. You can just see when people, because it just kind of does that thing that everyone talks about. It just closes in, and you just see everything kind of go black, and then you're out. So it's a trip. It's always fun. I mean, it's not, and like I said, there's times where I think you stand up too quick, man, and I'll get lightheaded. I'd go back down, but yeah, you got to be careful. Just thank God he's okay. That was the scary part, really. Georgia Special Counsel Nathan Wade kind of makes an interesting admission.
Georgia prosecutor in the Trump election meddling case testifies before the House Judiciary Committee. That's Nathan Wade, and he admitted he met with White House staff on several occasions while working on the investigation that was led by Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis. He also says he had to brush up on his knowledge of racketeering law.
Which proves he wasn't the proper lawyer to choose. He wasn't a RICO expert. He was just the dude that she thought was hot, and he flirted back with her, and he's like, I'm going through divorce, and she's like, I'll give you a bunch of money, and we go on cruises, and he's like, all right. Pretty sure it's pretty close to how the conversation went. I do not have special knowledge of the situation, of course. James O'Keefe is, I don't want to say threatening, but he's telling us that an exposure of some concern will be coming out here very shortly. OMG recorded someone inside the White House National Security Council spilling some tea. Interesting way to say it. Not sure. But recordings are coming as he adds, nobody inside the federal government is going to be safe from being exposed. Yeah, we are going to catch these people big time. And they don't even, the deep state's so bummed. I mean, again, they're running out of options, and the options they have are pretty dreary, so we'll see what happens. California County Board members fight election certification after raising election integrity issues. As far as California's side of it, this is kind of, they got Colorado and California. There's a bunch of counties, by the way, that are a little miffed how the elections played out. It's probably some of the more conservative counties. They are certifying the numbers, but they are also acknowledging and asking basically the federal government, which is strange, to help with an investigation. Runbeck apparently did this spray, this ink overspray that happened on a bunch of ballots, caused them to have to duplicate a bunch of ballots. And I think because of that, it created this weird problem that they ended up having to deal with. That seemed to be one of the big problems that came up in here. So they're trying to get, and it's Runbeck, by the way, that printed these, which is awesome. They're based out of Arizona. They've been a huge part of this whole election questioning. They print a lot of the ballots that exist. They're also, I believe that was them that had an adjoining building that was actually the Democratic National Committee or Convention of DNC, whatever. They were in there. So, yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on around there. Meanwhile, Canvas board members in 7 Colorado counties voted against certification of the 2024 general election results following the Colorado Department of State accidentally posting voting system password online. They ultimately ended up losing that. That was the conservative people pushing that. The liberal side of the state was able to push everything forward. But again, what we're seeing is two states that need to be talked about and rippled a little. Not necessarily you all, but people that live in California, we need to be talking about this. And Colorado, you guys, dude, seriously, you're almost as bad as Minnesota. Stop it. We got another slap in the face, apparently. It's kind of funny. I don't know. I think it's funny. And again, I just know how things work. So I don't really care if a judge that was going to retire has now decided he's not going to retire because he knows that Trump's going to be the one that fills him rather than the deep state. So he decided to come back. Well, we just have 3 of these judges just did that. And that's good. Or 4th, I guess. Sorry, 4th Circuit. But a federal judge in North Carolina appointed by former President Barack Obama has rescinded his plans to take a senior status, making him the 3rd Democratic appointee and 2nd Obama pick to unretire on President-elect Donald Trump. Awesome. These are obviously deep state people. Thanks. You just made it easy. I mean, it literally, and we tell them this, and they still do it. They're going to. They have to. They have to. They can't do anything else. They're so programmed. We're going to march them right into a wall. It's going to be like Wile E. Coyote. That cartoon we played yesterday was very appropriate in the big picture. That's really what we're going through right now. All right, some stuff with Trump, hopefully. SoftBank CEO and Trump announced, the $100 billion. That was where that original clip up front at the start. $100 billion investment, but he talked him into $200 billion. That's a big deal. This, let's say his name. Masayoshi Son. He announced this money. And again, just adorable dude. I obviously have my preferences I just like the Asian culture. Not preference, but just I like the Asian culture. There's a discipline. There's just a very, there's the way they carry themselves. Something's very strange. It's just a very different culture. It's very cool. I love it. I don't know. Something fascinating to me about it. And it has its variances as well, whatever the case is. But $100 billion, major, major thing. Trump's talked about eliminating some of the bureaucracy, red tape, as they'd say, to getting into this country with investments. The fact that he's already working deals. He's going to start off already with stuff and it's going to be like literally the first 90 days. We're going to see probably economic numbers, I think, hopefully improving. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Again, the deep state's not happy with this, so how they counter this, what they're willing to do, they tend to like to slash and burn. So that's why there's a lot of concerns. DRS, like scold.com. There's a lot of concerns, but right now everybody feels like everything's going to be groovy. And I hope it is. I just hope it is. I know right now gold and silver prices are spiking, so we'll see. Trump can fire anybody he wants, thanks to Sean Spicer. This is pretty cool. President-elect Donald Trump is arriving at the White House armed with legal weapon that will let him fire any of President Joe Biden's appointees. Thanks in part to this court from Sean Spicer, this whole ruling from him, right? It was lost over his firing by Biden from a 3-year term to the Board of Visitors to the United States Naval Academy. The incoming president will have the legal backing to dump any of Biden's over 4,000 appointments who try to stick around. And the best part, Spicer told Secrets, they have no one to blame but Biden himself. Yeah, because of what they did to Sean, Trump can now do to all of them. It's already it's been set. It is legal. It's precedent, right? It's done. Trump takes some questions, and this is pretty cool. This chick. This is different. It's about Laura becoming senator, and they ask about that. And again, he's basically president. I feel the way he's handling the press is very different than your fake news. He's not as confrontational anymore, in my opinion. And I think for good reason. I think he's supposed to be this, better. And I think the deep state press realizes, hey, we say anything salacious or crazy, he's going to call us on it. And it's only us that's going to lose the opportunity to ask a question. So ask a legitimate question. Don't be stupid. But we'll see how it plays out. Again, it's a movie. I don't know. Every day I just enjoy the ride. That's all I can say. We just talk about it together.
Mr. President. Yes, please.
Do you expect Ron DeSantis to appoint Laura Trump to Senator Marco Rubio's seat?
No, I don't. I probably don't, but I don't know. Ron's doing a good job. That's his choice. Nothing to do with me. Laura's unbelievable. I mean, she was incredible. The job she did at the RNC as chairman, along with Michael Watley, the combination. But I can just speak for Laura. She is so highly respected by women. I mean, even her workout routines are through the roof. She lifts 150 pounds. I don't know how the hell she does it. She's a bad example for men and women sports. Because I wouldn't be able to beat her, I don't believe. I'd try like hell. But no, she's an incredible woman. And, you know, it's funny, people oftentimes talk about nepotism. I never had, when I put her there, people said, how did you get her to do it? You know, she could have run for the Senate in North Carolina. Ted Budd would be the first to say. And he wouldn't have run. Nobody would have run. And she just said, no, I want to really focus on my children. When the election, and my family, she has a great family. When the election started getting closer, I asked her, would she go to Washington and work on the, as chairman of the committee along with Michael Watley. And they did such an unbelievable job, especially on cheating. They stopped it, or at least they stymied it. Too big to rig. And we won in a landslide. You know, we won tremendously. She did an amazing job. Now Ron is going to have to make, because Marco has been really a star already, and we haven't started, but you know, we see signs of from some people, or very early, we see signs of stardom, and Marco has done incredibly. He's sort of born for it. It was such an easy decision. The Marco decision was such an easy, but he leaves a vacancy in Florida, and Ron's going to have to make that decision, and he'll make the right decision. I also know that Laura's got so many other things. I mean, she's got so many other things. People want her to be on television. They want to give her contracts. You know, her predominant thought is our country and her family. Those are her thoughts. But she's got so many other things that she's talking about. He'll make the right decision.
Very cool. I like that guy. Trump's planning to sue Des Moines Register over Ann Seltzer's Iowa election poll showing Harris lead. I don't understand this exactly. I mean, I get the poll seems wrong, and he's claiming that she affected or was essentially messing with, or election interfering, interfering with the election. Seltzer's final poll showed Vice President Kamala Harris up by 3 points. Trump ultimately won the state with 56% of the vote compared to 42.7%. So a big swing, really. I mean, what we're talking 7.3 plus 6, right? Like 13.3, right? I mean, that's a big swing compared to she's up by 3 points. But why? It's a stupid poll. And polls are controlled by who you ask questions. Again, I don't know. Whatever the case is, Trump's going after this one. All right? And I'm sure there's a good reason. Or just to make her fess up and accept it, or maybe she's somebody that's got a reputation. Would be my guess. She's got a reputation as being like, well, whatever such and such says, whoever Ann Seltzer says. I feel like I've heard the name, at least the last name. No, not just because it's a beverage, even though I think that is a tea, doesn't it? But whatever. Let's not get even more lost in the weeds than I already am. I love this product. I love the fact that it helps keep our immune systems firing on all cylinders. But also on top of that, I think it helps kind of work on some of that daily stuff. Like there's a lot of people, like, for example, like ivermectin every day. Like, I don't like taking it. I don't take it every day. I have it for the times I get like a viral infection or something that I feel like needs some help. And I use it at that point. But I like to do supplements to just kind of keep me kind of up and having like my immune system kicking in the right places, right ways, right? And this product does that, by the way. danradiostyle.petclub247.com definitely does that. Has this mushroom, Coriolus versicolor. There's a whole bunch of studies, and there's, in fact, people that have talked about their experiences. They've got all of these things happening within the company in the different tabs here. But these products actually help your immune system, help in a big way, and help give you the power to keep yourself, because frankly, folks, it's our immune system that keeps us from getting sick, right? You could walk through and lick a cold, just lick the colds from someone's face. They got cold all over their face. They got flu on their face. They got COVID on their face. And you walk up and you just lick their face, which is probably illegal. So please don't do that. But you got COVID all up on you now. Well, if your immune system's solid, it don't matter. It don't matter. It won't matter. You could like spray COVID on yourself and then follow it up with some gluten. I mean, not that this would help with gluten, but you might as well. I mean, get it all. This keeps your immune system solid. They've got great products. And here's the funny thing. It does the same for your dogs, your cats, and for you as a human. So for dogs, they've got the Mush Puppies. It's a cookie. It's awesome. Mojo is a treat. It's a liver treat that's got the mushroom in it. So 2 ways to give dogs. Cats, the Mojo, that's kind of the treat you get offered. You obviously aren't going to like a cookie. It's just not something cats would typically eat unless you got a weird cat, maybe. It could happen. I know people that got dogs and cats, and the cat acts a lot more like a dog than the other way around. Whatever the case is, they've got them both ways. They've got foods. They've got super sauce, depending on where your animal is in his health regimen. Some animals, and I've heard a lot of people talk about the benefits they've seen. Their animals are kind of a little bit sick, got some problems, maybe got some cancer even. I mean, we had to Flex the Truth, Baby Trump on, talking about how he had a tumor, and he just took huge quantities of these different pills, just mass quantities, got a bunch of this mushroom in his body, and it and prayers helped. I mean, whatever the case was, it went away. Same thing people have said about their animals. They've got mutt mints. They've also got this chill doggies. These cute little treats that you can stick in the fridge. Cats might like those, maybe. I don't know if they like cold. I figure cats probably wouldn't. But some great products for dogs, for cats. Horses have mush ponies. Same thing. They've also got this pet balm, by the way, for all of them. Cats, dogs, everybody. You just buy it. But for dogs on their noses, right? Their paws, right? Just some of the... there's a lot of... I don't know. There's one video of the shorts. This chick just like babies this dog. It scares the hell out of me. It just really does. I mean, I watched it for the moment, and I'm like, that just frightens me that people are like that literally would spoil a dog to that level. Like, I got a facial. That was pretty cool. But damn, this dog gets better treatment than that. That's for shizzle. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. He's lost his confidence vote. He's another deep stater that's G7 deep stater, by the way. We've got Macron in France, major troubles. We've got this dude, Olaf, major troubles. England, major troubles. Right? Canada, I think, is part of that. Major troubles. Justin Trudeau's having problems. Our country, obviously, Trump finally got hold of things. And that's going to change what happens in Europe and the G7 and everything else. So German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has lost a vote of confidence in Parliament, paving the way for early elections in February. Coming up. The world's changing. The deep state's going to freak out. They are running out of time. That's all I'm saying. I don't know for sure they're going to do anything. I hope to God they don't. I hope to God they can't. They're running out of time. So if there is a time where they're going to push the button, so yeah, just be on the lookout. Alleged Chinese spy has been linked to Prince Andrew, and supposedly it's just the tip of the iceberg. This guy's been to Epstein's Island. This guy is just pretty horrible, to what we understand. And then Charles and all the allegations of who he actually is, and I just watched a video of a dude that painted some pretty interesting thoughts around how he thinks he's the Antichrist. I was like, all right, I want to hear this. There's almost a part of me that was almost like bummed that England was the one that fielded the Antichrist. I figured it would have been an American, but I don't mean that. I mean, just kind of being facetious mostly because I'm uncomfortable. But there's weird stuff going on in the royal family, and apparently this dude, Prince Andrew, is quite the pile of trash. Dodgy, I think would be what you guys would say there across the way. Dodgy. He's a little dodgy. Yeah, he's friggin' dodgy, all right. That's for sure. Bastard's dodgy as hell. He is dodgified. Oh, this is more of the fun. This is pretty fantastic, and I think I got a chick that is pretty famous in Britain that does some really funny shit. But they've got a problem over there in the Church of England. Archbishop of York is deeply sorry over handling of sex abuse case amid growing calls for him to resign. The Church of England's second most senior bishop, Archbishop of York, Stephen Cottrell, has apologized for not acting sooner in the case of sex abuse by the Church of England priests. Much like the Catholic Church, I was proud of Catholics, so I'm allowed to poke fun. So yeah, this guy's deeply sorry. Hope that makes all the people that got molested feel better. He's Deeply sorry. Penetratingly sorry.
Here in batshit bonkers Britain, where the Church of England is struggling to find someone to cover for the Archbishop of Canterbury, who had to resign for covering up or for a pedo perv inside the church, because they can't find anyone who hasn't covered up for a pedo perv inside the Church of England. The last guy they've got, who was supposed to be the temporary replacement, there's calls for him to resign because he didn't fire a priest or someone who was banging small children. Is there no one inside the whole of the Church of England that hasn't been banging children?
And I would say the answer is no. There's nobody in the Church of England, quite possibly the Vatican, quite possibly a lot of these organizations. Quite possibly nobody at all. And it's very messed up. This is a massive explosion. It's not nuclear. First, it kind of will look like it for a second. So just calm down, because you don't even get the, like, even when they use the Moab, the mother of all bombs, or the Russian version of it, which the father of all bombs, or I forget what their cool name is for it, but they just, it's a giant explosion when those things go off, and it makes a mushroom cloud. It's not nuclear, supposedly. I don't think it is, but it makes a very similar look. Not feel, but look. I mean, it's hyperbaric bombs. Anyway, this is the best video of this that I actually saw, because what you'll notice, I'm going to actually let it play out the full 39 seconds, because what it shows in, like, I don't know, a few seconds is the boom, the big boom, and then I think it even hits the sound. But what you'll notice, I don't know, over here around 4 o'clock in the picture, you'll see at some point an escape of just fire. And yeah, whatever they hit, there were some underground tunnels, and one of them busted out at this way far away from where the explosion is. And it takes time for that explosion to travel through whatever tunnel and tunnels they just fracked, for lack of a better word to use. I don't know. This is pretty crazy. Check this out. I think you guys will appreciate it.
افتحوا الشبابيك الله يلعنك يا إسرائيل لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله
Holy crap. Holy crap. And it just kind of just keeps having fire come out of it. Supposedly this was an old Russian base. There was an ammo depot there. I was pretty sure what they hit, and obviously some underground stuff was going down. This is a big chunk of stuff that just got taken away from the deep state. Happening over in Syria, and everything that's going on in Syria is obviously sketchy. Bashar Assad made his first public comment since the ouster. Says he wanted to keep fighting in Syria. Basically, it's like, I had to leave because I needed to leave because of what was happening, but I just want you all to know that I fight for Syria and all this. But yeah, he's a deep state bastard, and he's out. He was a dictator. He's no longer a dictator. Not sure what's going to happen to Syria. Frankly, it's not our problem. And this whole section of the world has got to figure out what's going on. And there is a restructuring happening because the deep state is being removed. The cancer that is the deep state is being removed. Now, here's Trump talking about somebody asking him, hey, are you going to bomb such and such a spot? Because a lot of people have been talking about, and I intentionally dropped this story to the floor, but they were talking about how Trump was looking at possibly attacking Iran's nuclear structures or facilities. Says sources close to Trump, of course. I'm like, it's bullshit. This is a bullshit story. So they finally ask him the question, which is insane. And I think his answer is awesome. Now, there is some shit audio in here. I apologize. I don't know. I might clip it out. We'll see. Or ultimately it should. Whatever. It's not my fault. That's all I can say. I'll try to clean it up.
Are you entertaining the idea of preemptive strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities? Against Iran's nuclear facilities?
I mean, it's a wonderful question, but how can am I going to do preemptive strikes? Why would I say that? Can you imagine if I said yes or no? You'd say, That was strange that he answered that way. Am I going to do preemptive strikes on Iran? Is that a serious question? How could I answer a question like that?
Can I ask you,
Say it.
be in support of Israeli strikes on Iran's
How could I tell you a thing like that now? It's just so you don't talk about that before something may or may not happen. You know, just I don't want to insult you. I just think it's just not something that I would ever answer having to do with there or any other place in the world.
Yeah, man, that audio is painful, and I assume somebody was just very, very close to the microphone. And digital, one thing that's funny about digital, tape is not quite as, it's weird, it's a little more forgiving as far as over-modulating, but yeah, digital does not handle over-modulation well at all. So any of you guys doing any sort of audio stuff at home, make sure you don't see red spikes. Red spikes are not like our olden days, not as accepted when it comes to digital because you get that sound. That sound is over-modulation, and it's obviously because somebody's like just right up on the microphone as they're screaming stupid-ass question. Hey, Trump, tell them what you're going to do. No. There's a light over the world. This is, I don't know, just again, more of Trump being awesome. I can't wait to see how the next few years go. I mean, it's maybe going to be bumpy to get going, but I feel like things are moving in the right direction. Again, resistant until I see it, but we're getting there.
Jump. 41 points. It went up 41 points. That's unheard of. And that's the biggest they think in recorded history, but they know at least a minimum of 39 years, so that's great. But on behalf of the American people, I want to thank Massa for his faith in what's happening with our country and what's happening with the world. There's a whole light over the entire world. Many people, some reporters, in speaking to them, they said, you know, it actually is true. A couple of them are not necessarily friends of mine, but they said it is actually true that there's a light shining over the world. We're trying to help very strongly in getting the hostages back, as you know, with Israel and the Middle East. We're working very much on that. We're trying to get the war stopped, that horrible war that's going on in Ukraine, with Russia, Ukraine. We're going to, we've got a little progress. It's a tough one. It's a nasty one. It's nasty. People are being killed at levels that nobody's ever seen. You know, it's very level fields, and the only thing that stops a bullet is a body, a human body. And the number of soldiers that are being killed on both sides is astronomical. I've never seen anything like it. And rapidly, I get reports every week, and it's not even, you know, it's like just they're going down. Nobody's seen anything like it. It's a very flat surface, a very flat land. That's why it's great farming land. It's the breadbasket for the world, actually. But it's very flat, and there's nothing to stop a bullet but a body. There's no protection, no nothing, and it's what's happening there is far worse than people are reporting for both sides. So we're going to do our best, and we've been doing our best, and we'll see what happens. But since the election...
See, that's diplomacy, right? Like, both sides. Everybody matters. All lives matter, as much as that pisses off BLM. But all lives matter, whether you're Ukrainian, Russian, or anything. Senate probe finds Amazon manipulates workplace injury data. What's super weird about this story, by the way, the story was done in the Washington Post. The Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. Amazon is apparently being reported on by Bezos's paper about how Bezos is not necessarily having a safe working environment in Amazon facilities. What? I mean, something seems weird here. Maybe this is like, don't look at me further. Look, see, I'm finding things wrong with me. That's what it kind of feels like. Because why? That's just weird. We know they don't normally play this way. What, now all of a sudden you'd be like, yeah, and I've done some other things too. And I thought some mean thoughts about so-and-so. And I coveted my neighbor's wife. Like, I don't know. Are we just going to have this big open discussion now, Bezos? You're going to tell us all the things you've done wrong? Whatever the case is, they have some dangerous activities that have happened within, let's put it this way, people have injured themselves maybe in ways, and they try really hard to sort of report it differently, so it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. They don't necessarily like people going to outside facilities to address problems when they might have some some equipment locally that's able to answer questions. So I don't know. But the case is the Senate probe finds, the Senate's actually looking into this and found that this story that Washington Post put out, and they're like, well, hey, Amazon, what's going on, Bezos? Why did your paper report that you guys are actually 30% higher in injuries than an average warehouse of your size and, work type? So, yeah, they're dangerous. From what I understand, they're not the best place. I don't want to say that. From what I understand, it's a job that requires you to work very, very hard. I worked at UPS, by the way, so it's probably similar. And you've also got giant machines that if you literally got hit by or run over by, it would mess up your whole world. So you just really got to, like, it's a war zone, and you got to be, like, head on a swivel. And I'm going to assume that is such an extra level of energy being used that, yeah, it's probably a crazy place to work. This is a story I actually heard. I mean, it showed up in my normal world, but I heard it on a couple guys talking about stuff. It just cracks me up. These two dudes. One of them. Anyway, I love these guys. They sometimes they say stuff. It's just like I'm like they can't be right. They can't be right, man. This is a weird story, and this is one that he was just like this. So this proves, Google says it has accessed parallel universes within its new supercomputer. Why? Because this thing was able to process something that should have taken like 7 bazillion years, and literally, like they had, I don't know, what the pentatillion years or some crazy ass, like a long ass time, and they solved it in 5 minutes. And they're like, what this proves is that our quantum chip is actually processing in parallel universes simultaneously, and so because of that, it's able to actually do more at the same time. Now, theoretically, this is entirely possible, and that would be like serious multiprocessing if you think about it, for any of you guys that are uber geeks, right? Wouldn't that be multi-threaded to a new extreme? Or multi-threaded within a multi-threaded universe, multiverse, so whatever the case is. If this literally does have anything to do with it, that's pretty wild. Otherwise, it just sounds like they're being kind of crazy. And then the other side of it, because they're like, this is kind of what they're saying, this proves there's a multiverse, because this does this really fast calculations. Outside of that, we have zero proof of the multiverse, other than they assume it must be a multiverse in order to allow this to happen. But what it then begs for me is, if they can operate in the multiverse, why can't we? And so many of us, especially my more spiritual adept people out there, you understand exactly what that means. So kind of funny. I don't know. It's just an interesting story proving nothing but saying a lot, actually, I think. Eric Adams opens up about his indictment in a sit-down with Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil's just doing it. You go, Dr. Phil. I like it. But anyway, it's a pretty cool little interview, and I'm liking what Eric Adams is all about right now. And we got a little thing coming up about Trump talking about Eric Adams here next. So a couple good things. Check this out.
You've been indicted as a sitting mayor by a grand jury. Why do you think that happened?
I think it's a combination of things, and I believe at the tip of it is I was extremely vociferous about what was happening to this city during the migrants and asylum seeker issue. I lived my life not only when I was a law enforcement officer, but as a state senator, borough president, now the mayor, of following the law. And when you look into the crevices of the indictment, it clearly shows that something is just not right. And, you know, Dr. Phil, I cannot tell you, the only consolation to this is that mommy's not alive. I would not want my mother to watch me go through this. And it hurts a lot. No American should go through what I'm going through. No American should go through. And no American should go through being on the FBI watch list because you're standing up for your family member. And that is just not what our criminal justice system is about. And that's the criminal justice system I fought for. I've been an advocate for proper criminal justice. And so I believe that the record is going to show I did nothing wrong. And I'm not going to give up on the people of this city, no matter what comes at me. I'm going to deliver for these people.
You're going to fight these charges to the bitter end.
Yes, I am. I'm going to fight it. It's important that I do so because I know I haven't done anything wrong. I've served this city as a police officer. I served the city as a state senator, as a borough president, and I'm serving it as a mayor. And I think that my story is an American story. And I'm going to fight to the bitter end for this city.
And again, to me, anyway, from watching the movie, just like sharing with you guys, is like to see which side of things people tend to fall. Like this dude a year ago, he was deep state, 100% sure he's deep state. Fetterman too, right? I know Manchin, he impressed me a bunch, but I mean, again, that was one I think there's been a lot of struggle trying to get to. Cinema really didn't ever do anything but switch parties, but I mean, good on her. But yeah, this dude, no. But now, I mean, it seems like he's falling on the right side of this to me. I don't know. I mean, I don't mean right, left, right, but I mean like the correct side. Maybe not. Who knows? President Trump asked if he'd consider pardoning Eric Adams. His answer's perfect, I think.
Would you consider pardoning Eric Adams?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I think that he was treated pretty unfairly. Now, I haven't seen the gravity of it all, but it seems, like being upgraded in an airplane many years ago. I know probably everybody here has been upgraded. They see you're all stars, and they say, I want to upgrade that person from NBC. I'm going to upgrade him. And that would mean you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. I don't know. Somehow, I hope not. I'd have to see it because I don't know the facts. I think he was treated. It's very interesting. When he essentially went against what was happening with the migrants coming in, and, he made some pretty strong statements like, this is not sustainable. I said, you know what, he'll be indicted soon. And I said it, not as a prediction, a little bit lightheartedly, but I said it. I said, he's going to be indicted. And a few months later, he got indicted. So, yeah, I would certainly look at it.
Yeah, they do that. That's how they roll. You go against their rules, and you get punished. And so that's where Kathy Hochul's trying to get back into the Deep Throat movie, like whatever she's got to do, she's going to do. But the rest of, a lot of other people are like, I'm not doing this anymore. That's kind of one of the reasons I don't play some of the games that people are playing out there. There's a lot of fun stuff. Like, one of these days, if I get enough of you content creators out there to where it would make sense, and I don't even think I'd charge for it, but it would have to be like people on very specific list. But like, I'd probably be willing to have like a once a month, like hour long. All right, ask questions. Let's talk about this. How can we, because frankly, there's a lot of little nuances that it helps to learn in the big picture. A Chinese startup company called Agibot, I don't know, agility, I'm thinking bot, Agibot, begins mass production of general purpose humanoid robots. Probably going to freak people out. What China is probably likely doing, and it feels kind of like the Emperor or whatever in the Star Wars, the ones that were building the clone army, right? Like, I feel like that's what China's doing. They've got insane numbers of drones. In fact, there was a thing floated and flooded. I think it was just meant to try to scare people. It was like Daily Mail that put it out, so it was stupid information. But it was trying to make it sound like China's got this attack plan on how they're going to take down the U.S. News at 11. And it really had to do with overwhelming carriers with drones and then trying to hack them and all this, right? There's this whole slew of stuff, which most of it I'm reasonably sure we know already. Like, of course, you're going to overwhelm us. We know how our systems work, and we understand that we might have some technologies that they haven't shown yet. And I kind of almost... I wonder if some of the testing that's maybe going on right now, too, has to do with any of that, like just frequencies. Because there's one thing they've talked about is these things are operating on frequencies that we can't see. And when they say we can't see it, it doesn't mean the military can't, because they've got much larger broadband scanners, but the commercial people wouldn't have access to. And the reason is, one, you don't need to, because you got the military already knows what the hell it is. But like, you want the little guys to feel like they got some stuff too, right? So again, it's cross training, but not to the level that they get to. So yeah, these bots are. I mean, they've been talking about it here in the States too, that they want to put. I think Elon Musk is working on something, having a robot in everyone's house, just like that movie I Robot. That was, a very good movie. Will Smith, unfortunately, man, why did you have to slap him? Why did you have to F up your whole career? I hope you ask yourself that question frequently. That's just, man, it really bums me out. Eric Adams' top aide is going to be indicted after she sensationally quit her job. Apparently this indictment's coming. She wanted to get the hell away from the mayor. And again, it's kind of interesting how many of these people are embroiled in scandal, or at least being sought to be taken down? Or did Adams have a bunch of bad people around him, but he himself maybe hadn't done anything nefarious? Who knows? Again, there's so many questions for me. I hope you guys are asking them too. Can I answer them all? No, this is just the information they're giving us. Wow. Okay. Wow. It's my filter worked. Oh my goodness. Oh, holy moly. Luigi Mangioni's new attorney apparently is Karen Agnifilo. I almost want to hear her say it. But the wife of Mark Agnifilo, who is representing Diddy. So the dude that shot the CEO, maybe, in broad daylight, which I'm questioning whether that's actually true, has hired, potentially, at least from a family standpoint, one of the strongest attorneys out there for like the hardcore. It's interesting. Very interesting. I assume both these people are extraordinarily like super alpha lawyers, and probably compete like everywhere they do. Everything they do together in their marriage is probably a competition. I can't imagine living a life like that. That would drive me insane. I would hate it. I would just roll over and let her bite my neck every day and see if that led to affections. Anyway, sorry, that's off on a side subject. Bird or drone? We have a plane that literally had to turn around in LaGuardia, I believe it was, that had to turn around because it took something to the engine. They called it a bird. It may be, we don't have solid enough footage. Someone was actually recording, coincidentally, at the time they were flying, which is not uncommon for people to be like, look at the ground, and they're recording it and shit. I'm sure my girlfriend's going to do that. There's going to be a day in this week that I'm not going to make a video. Just, sorry, I got one day where I'm not going to be here. It was going to be two, but I think I can swing the one day, so we'll see. But that was the only warning you'll get. All said, we got this fun thing where that we don't know if it was a drone or a bird. And this image does not help. We do actually have more, I thought. Oh, yeah, it's over here, right? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, bird or drone. This is the actual video of it hitting. Yeah, that's like the only frame you get. I mean, to me, it could be a bird. But odd as these machines usually can take a bird strike, I feel like there would have been way more debris because those spinning fans, if it was actually metal, like could have shot it out of the sides. I don't know. Whatever it was. I mean, we're speculating hard nowadays, but it kind of jacked the engine up, which they don't like having things fly through them. It happens, and they'll suck people in. I've seen some crazy videos. But, all said, that happened. And then it turned back around. I think a lot of people are giving her a hard time. I do not particularly like Jumanji Brown Jackson that much. But she happens to be a Supreme Court justice. And she did some sort of Broadway debut where she was in some play, some like sort of a walk-on role or something. Made history. First member of the nation's highest court to grace its storied stage. Blah, blah, blah. But she did a one-night-only walk-on role on Saturday night, and a Tony-nominated romantic comedy musical, and Juliet, a modern take on Shakespeare's tragedy that imagines that would have happened if the female protagonist survived and took control of her own life. If only we knew. Yeah, so anyway, that's what it was about. She was in it, just some choir lady or something cool. No, not going to donate to you. She NPR. That's so silly. That's like the propaganda network. Can you give us money? It's like, no, shut your whole face. She's an actress, which I think is cool, by the way. I like that. So I hope to do some movie at least, or multiple if I'm lucky, movies in my life. I hope like somewhere, that's like my long-term game plan I got going on right now. We'll see if it happens, but hopefully it'll be good. It's out there. And I think finally, I want to let you guys know, this is pretty cool. We got a new thing on truththread.shop. I don't know if I'm ever free, we'll just call her. Came up with a pretty cool idea, and she ran it by me. I was like, of course, that's a great idea. So she got these mugs now. You can get the Donald Trump old number 45 and 47 brand. President of the United States, 100% MAGA. And then, of course, on the back is my channel. That's kind of cool. You can hide that with your hand if you're afraid, or you hide the other. But super cool. It's like the Jack Daniels bottle, Like, these are super cool. So anyway, you want to go to truththread.shop. Truththread.shop. They got a bunch of shirts and stuff too, by the way, and hats. You should get a hat. You should get some shirts. And please send pictures back of you wearing them, because I want to put them in like the little promotional movies that we make. I think I've made 2 of them thus far. Not even close to being able to make a 3rd one yet. Nope, not even close. These are cool. Check it out, and you're helping the channel out too. You're helping a family, helping the channel, and a lot of good things are happening. So go to truththread.shop. That's truththread.shop, and you can help make that a reality. So all said, thank you guys. I appreciate you every step of the way. We've got a long haul to go, but I think it just starts to get better. I don't know where there's a lot of things I feel like little fuzzy spikes that are coming through our next number of times, and I don't know exactly where, what, and how, but we'll get through these things. I think most of the part we're prepared, I think, but yeah, how this plays out is going to be, I think, a little exciting, a little fun, a little wild, and I think we're all going to ultimately end up in a significantly better place, and I'm looking forward to doing it with you. Shoulder to shoulder, we keep marching forward, and where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.